Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be covering why Colin is important to the story in The Boys Season 4. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below if you agree or disagree. Let's get started. The Colin situation. Now, what I'm referring to as the Colin situation is up on screen right now. There was a lot of hate in the beginning of the season with this character named Colin that he was in a relationship with Frenchie. And now that the season's over, we can all agree that Colin and Frenchie's storyline was unnecessary. Now, I disagree with that statement that Colin and Frenchie's relationship is unnecessary. I think it's very necessary for Frenchie's character development. But I do agree they could have went a different route with it. We're not writers. I'm not a writer. You're not a writer. We're just enjoying the show. So let's take what they gave us at face value and analyze Frenchie and Colin's relationship. So, in the story of the boys, Frenchie never really faced his past and always moved on from the horrible shit he does by either getting high or focusing on his next job. With Colin, he's forced to see him every day. He saw him in the meetings. He accidentally grew feelings for him, and vice versa with Colin. Frenchie still tries to move past this feeling of guilt and regret and sorrow by sleeping with Colin, but it didn't work. So eventually, this feeling of regret and sorrow, guilt, builds up to a point where Frenchie snaps and tells Colin he was the one who murdered his family. Believing this would give him satisfaction, Colin even tries to kill Frenchie after he says this. Frenchie doesn't fight back, thinking this here is his penance for all the sins he's committed. He was wrong once again, as almost dying to Colin's hand did not give him the satisfaction he wanted, ultimately leading him to turn himself in, thinking this is the only thing left he can do. Now, the only reason he's doing this is because of all the guilt, sorrow, and regret that is built up so much to a point where Frenchie can't even think straight no more. See, Frenchie cannot come to terms with all the sins he's committed. That's why he's still wallowing in his sorrow, regret, and guilt over what he's done in his past. So, believe it or not, Colin played a big role in Frenchie's character development, even though Colin is widely hated. Colin forced Frenchie to face his problems because Colin's in his face every day with the Starlight House, with the program and the meetings, and him having sex with him, and it was all too much for Frenchie. He's not used to facing his past. I know he faced his past in season 2 with Lamplighter, but this is more like direct. This is more like because Frenchie killed Colin's family. Frenchie didn't kill Grace's grandchildren. He didn't directly kill them. He indirectly got them killed. With Colin, he was the perpetrator. He was the one who pulled the trigger and murdered Colin's entire family. That's the difference between the Lamplighter and Colin situation. Like I said before, Colin is a very important character in Frenchie's character arc. Because Colin is the one who makes Frenchie feel bad about what he's done in his past. It makes him face his sins, unlike previous seasons. That's why we haven't seen much of Frenchie, because he's just been wallowing in guilt and despair. And yeah, that is why Colin is important. The kiss. In episode 7, Frenchie returns as a helping hand for Dr. Samir to replicate the soup-killing virus. Frenchie and Kimiko start talking, and Kimiko is understandably frustrated once Frenchie says, "I've missed you," because she tried to visit him every day while he was in jail, and he kept denying her visit. Frenchie states on how he just cannot forgive himself for what he did to Colin's family. and that Kimiko doesn't understand. Then Kimiko tells Frenchie that she lied to her brother about why she can't talk, and told Frenchie the real truth, that she was kidnapped by Shining Light and forced to fight against other children. The conditions of Kimiko's fight was the first one to make a sound loses. Kimiko kills the child silently without a peep. And when she was finally allowed to speak, she just couldn't. Kimiko regrets her decisions back then and feels guilty about the people she killed. It brings her sorrow to think about the person she used to be. She hates herself when she looks in the mirror. She'd rather be killed instead of doing what she did. Frenchie tells her she should not hate herself, and Kimiko throws it back at his face that he shouldn't feel bad about himself, about his past. And then Frenchie asks them, how can we possibly forgive ourselves? How can we move on? Now, this moment right here brings Frenchie and Kimiko even closer. Not only are they still learning about each other's problems after knowing each other for so long, they're also dealing with quite similar problems. The moment of the kiss. In episode 8, after Huey convinces the group to work with Victoria, the iconic Frenchie and Kimiko scene starts. Frenchie asks, is this really wise to do? Kimiko questions, what if Huey's right? What if forgiveness is the best we can do? To Victoria, to ourselves. Frenchie questions how. Kimiko says, you try a little every day, I guess. Then Kimiko lets it all out, saying that she lied about how she thinks that Frenchie should be with Colin. She just thought that he should be with somebody better than her. And this right here is a big revelation because I'm about to go on a tangent. Tangent. That's right. In season 3, she said her and Frenchie was that family. And in the beginning of season 4, she told Frenchie it was not going to happen. So this means she was lying about her true feelings the entire time up to this point. So the people that thought Frenchie and Kimiko wasn't going to happen and they was like cool like family was well in their right to think so. Because the story and what the characters were saying were blatantly telling you that this is more like a family relationship. This is not going to happen until episodes 7 and 8 dropped of season 4. Until those 2 episodes dropped and the relationship got more development, they were well in their rights to think that Frenchie and Kimiko were just family. And after she drops that big revelation, Frenchie tells Kimiko, there is no one better than you. In conclusion, both Frenchie and Kimiko have mirroring arcs this season, both suffering from regret, guilt, sorrow for their actions in the past. Both Colin and the girl from Shining Light, which I still don't know her name, both represent the past coming back to haunt me. And that's why Colin is actually a big part of Frenchie's story and character development. They 100% could have went a different route. But since they chose to take this direction with Colin and Frenchie, that makes Colin an important character because of what he represents and what happens in the story because of him being around. If he wasn't around, Frenchie wouldn't have cared about his past, wouldn't have hit him so hard. It had just been another thing he had to move on from. But no, since he's seen him in the meetings, since he's seen him in the Starlight House, since he got a relationship with him, since they started fucking, all that guilt, regret, and sorrow for what he did to this person, it hit him like a truck. So yes, that is why Colin is one of the important characters of the story in The Boys season 4, and his and Frenchie's relationship is totally necessary. Hey, you made it to the end. Yo, I fuck with you for making it to the end of the video. I know it was a long video, but I just had to get my thoughts out there about, the Colin and Frenchie relationship. But, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Type in GOAT in the comments, because you're the GOAT. Just type in GOAT, just for yourself, okay? Alright, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. I know I normally cover anime and stuff like that, but, I just had to talk about this. This piqued my interest. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.